So we're going to start from scratch with our exercise or example C. We'll make a 2 foot by 2 foot, 24-inch by 24-inch patio slab. We'll extrude it up 2 inches, and then by selecting the entire set of entities, we'll right-click and make component. That will be named slab 01. And then I'm going to make a change to the component axes and put it on top, so when I put these together in my model, I've always got a flat surface. You'll see why in a minute. So set the point, go out on the red axis, go up on the green axis. When I hit create, I've already done this once before, I'm overwriting the other one. That's correct, that's fine. In the upper right, you'll see component options. There are none. So no additional attributes are existing. We have the component attributes screen up, and so we'll add some attributes. These are the list of things that are already available. They're static, or they're built in. I'm going to add length of X, length of Y, and length of Z. Those are the dimensions of the slab, horizontally red axis, vertically green axis, and the vertical blue axis when you're looking in oblique. We'll go to adding options here. We'll go to drop-down list, and then we'll add in for length of Z, regular, which is 2 inches. So that's the height of the slab. The Z height is the vertical height of thickness of the slab. Thin is 1 inch. And we'll make a 3-inch thickness called robust, which could be used maybe for driveways or something like that, almost like a paving stone. Once those are in, the next step then is to hit apply, and you'll see that they show up now. It didn't change our object, but it shows up in the component options. So we have, when we go and change length of Z to thin, we get a thinner slab. We change it to robust, we get a thicker slab. Notice, because the original axis is on top, the bottom changes rather than the height of the top of the object. I've gone ahead and jumped ahead a little bit. I've changed X and Y. On the X axis, I've used either thirds or half, and on the Y axis I've used the other dimension, so I can divide it into half or thirds, make it bigger, make it smaller, and we have then these options, almost like paving stones, that we could make a pattern out of these 2-foot slabs. They could be almost any size. Thirds would be 8-inch by 8-inch, or 16-inch by 16-inch. Halves would be 12-inch and 12-inch. Those numbers all go together very nicely. Further down, we have the option here then of working with this. You'll see now how easy it is to work with the top of the slab. So the tops are all even. As I copy them out to make a patio here, we'll make it, I think, 16 units. That's copy and move, or move and copy with the plus sign. So each one of them has all exactly the same component attributes. So if I change this one to be narrow, it's 2/3 of the width. I can move this one over, and I can start to build my pattern. This is one way of many, many different ways of working with the components and their attributes in our design. And really, this is an exercise for us to understand design. Now there I moved it with copy, so I've got one overlapping the other, and I can't do that with patio slabs. They just don't slide through each other very well. Now that we have the start of this, you can see that we are able to look at it a little bit differently and to work with things a little bit differently. If I go to generate report, I find these screens that are described in the lesson. I will bring over my definition name, my entity name, and then length of X, length of Y, and length of Z. We're going to find that there is a bit of a glitch, and we're just going to deal with this on screen right now without downloading it. So at this stage of the game, for some reason, the entity name and definition names are both identical. And even though we have maybe entered an entity name in the entity info box, it doesn't catch it here. You'll notice that we have a 24 by 12 and a 16 by 24. We have a bunch of 3-inch thicknesses because they were all made, all copies of the original 3-inch thick slab. And we have our columns. This would then be output or saved as a CSV file, which we could use later on. If we look at this in the entity info box, we'll click on one, we'll find that nothing really is showing here other than the layer that it's on and the definition name slab 01. There's also a volume there, so if we were building these concrete slabs, we could say how much concrete goes into them.